Goodness.
No. There we are. We are live. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Some people already from Canada. Ooh, hello, Michael. Elvira from Italy. Lloyd from New Zealand. Do you know, this is why I love these things. It's like connecting this world of like-minded people.
Norway, Italy,
Hertfordshire,
Ontario, Canada. Lots of people on YouTube at the moment. I hope we are live on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, do... there we are. Hello from Germany. Lovely.
Hey.
We are on Facebook as well, although most people commenting do seem to be on various YouTube channels, so that's fine.
Prince Edward Island. Oh, my goodness.
Massachusetts.
Wow.
Oh, now we can't. It's hard to keep up
You're
now.
Coming in thick and fast.
Yeah.
How fabulous is that?
South Wales, Wyoming.
Orkney. Oh, my goodness. New Forest. Lots of...
Netherlands.
Oh, wow.
We have
Hello,
Prague.
Everyone.
We have Prague.
Prague.
I have such good memories of Prague. Do you have good memories?
We have some very good memories of Prague.
Yeah.
We have some very good memories of various places here, to be honest.
I do miss the Czech Republic, though. I've got to say, it'd be lovely to go over there again and see everybody.
I hope everybody's got their tea. I've got my Alice in Wonderland mug, and it says, "Why, sometimes I believe as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast."
Yeah, and I have my wizard smoking a pipe mug.
So, appropriate cups for this evening. Hello, darlings. Hello. I have to come closer to read it because I've got the wrong glasses.
Your mug is popular.
It's my Bobby S.
Druid Wendigo. Oh my God, it's Dave the Bard. You don't understand how excited I am right now. I could cry right now. Sorry, this is just unexpected.
Bless.
Well, Druid Wendigo, loads of love to you.
Aww.
Oh. Well, don't. Yeah. Oh, how exciting!
Yay.
That's really nice. Well, lovely to meet you all.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. My eye is slowly getting better. Although I took some antihistamines and I've been snoring all day apparently. So
I can vouch for that.
It knocked me for silly. But there you go.
Yeah. So we are all gathered from all sides of the world.
Everywhere.
Look at that. It's just fantastic.
Switzerland,
all over the world.
Donegal, Belfast, lots of Canada, Scotland.
We have 240 webcams, which is lovely.
Yeah, that is just beautiful. Just so lovely to see everybody here coming up. And Kent, Devon.
That's the allotment going. Oh my God! I'll be back in a minute.
Oh, do you know what? It's been such a weird time. I haven't done so much on the allotment, and I mean, I've tried to do lots of filming, but it's just been such a complicated time. But I do promise I have got a couple of stonker videos that I just need to get going. So I promise everybody's waiting for allotment videos and our weird trips out. They are coming. Just
good. Well, we said that we were going to talk about animism and not just waffle all night, and we're 3 minutes in already.
Blimey.
So
it goes so quick.
Let's just begin by, for just one moment, stop typing.
It's just people coming in.
Yeah, just move away from the keyboard and let's just close our eyes for a moment and just become aware of the room or space around you. And let's take a long, slow breath together with the earth beneath us. And a long, slow breath with the sky above us. And a long, slow breath with the seas and the rivers and the lakes and streams of your lands. Okay. So we thought we'd have a kind of discussion about animism and how that influences our druid path.
Whether it influences your interest.
And also, by all means, if you have questions about animism, or if you are an animist yourself, pop your comments or questions or anything in the comments here, and I'll try and keep an eye out, and so will Cerri, for any comments that fly by that we can include into our discussions. So, but to kick things off with, I'm going to say to Cerri, what is animism to you?
Oh, blimey. How long have you got? I think it'd take longer than 20 minutes, to be fair. But, I mean, for me, animism is what I am. I'm an animist through and through. Animism to me is my physical, emotional and spiritual relationship with the landscape I live on. And broader than that, it's my relationship with the earth and every living thing on it. I know animism has some difficult connotations with how it originated back in the 19th century as a word, but I'm reclaiming that. I don't, the people of those times thought in a very different way, and in not a very kind way a lot of the time. But to me, today, animism is much more about how I live as an integrated species with the wider web of life. And my relationship is fundamental. I guess my biggest thing is I don't see a blade of grass as any less important than me. And I find that my druidry is much more about that integration than it is about just the human aspect of living. I think that's as succinct as I can get.
Okay.
At the moment.
I guess a little kind of idea of what animism is generally as well is like the idea behind it is, in a kind of nutshell, is that everything has a spirit. So be that animals, birds, humans, animate things, but also trees and plants.
Mountains.
And even down to mountains and seas and rivers and stones. Everything has a spirit, a life force of its own. That's the kind of energy that holds animism. And there was a beautiful question just gone up, but I've missed it. It's all gone up, but I'll try and get back to it in a minute if I remember it properly. But basically, so that means to me, animism is it's a communication and a relationship with the natural world that goes beyond a physical relationship to it. So when I take Oscar for a walk down by the river, I will talk quite happily to the spirit of the river. When I have stones on my altar over there, and each one of them has a personality. I know exactly where I got every single one of them from, and they hold a part of the spirit of that place. Before I took them, I asked them and said, "Will you come home with me?" And sometimes I got a distinct no, and I put it back. And it deepens our relationship with our surroundings as well. It's and it also is. It's my personal way also of viewing what we may call the gods, because to me the gods are animistic spirits of the natural world. So, and the Awen has a spirit of its own. The spirit that we work. So the spirit of inspiration is an animistic thing as well to me. So I think what have we got here?
I spotted a question. Does a computer have a spirit? And it immediately sent me back to a TED talk that I think I've spoke about at different times before, when a New Zealand chap was talking to some people who live near a mountain, and the particular Maori people who lived in that particular area referred to the mountain as grandmother, and he posed the question: Does even a pebble on the beach have a spirit? And they were like, well, it's not quite as simple as that. The idea is that actually it's your relationship. The relationship, so the example he said was the mountain dominates the area. The people and the animals live in that area in various different ways. They interact with that area, and the area interacts with them. So the mountain affects the weather. So it has different moods, it has different cycles, it provides different things, and it is there generation on generation on generation. So there is memory, and there is interaction, and there is understanding of each other's moods and each other's needs. And so you come to relationship, and you come to build a connection. And because we are human, we interpret those things in a very human way. And there's nothing to say that a vulture or an eagle doesn't have a narrative in its own language and fashion, or a nest of ants, or all of those things are in relation, and we are in relation with that. So in some ways, when I look at a pebble, I can, like Dave was saying, the stones on the altar, he has a relationship with that. So to him there's a spirit attached, and that's, that goes from the tiniest thing to the most enormous thing. And it's the reason why when you're looking at clouds, they're forming pictures and things, because you're in such a relationship when you're not just thinking in human terms, when you're thinking in more than human terms.
Yeah. And I saw a comment about, the connection with, say, a monotheistic deity and animism and stuff like that. I think to me, and I also saw comments about Indigenous peoples, and I think if you look at, First Nations and Indigenous peoples, they still have a very animistic relationship with their locality and the spirits around them. And to me, animism, it's summed up to me as an older magic. That's the way I look at it, and that's the way the next question: how does it manifest in our practice? Is the next question, right? Because I've seen it's already 8:15. Oh my
good
word!
Grief.
So how does it manifest in your practice? And I tend to work with the animistic aspects of deity, if you like. I think that's the way it was said. So if you have me here, and then you have monotheism, and then you have polytheism, and then you have the anthropomorphization, well, that's a word, isn't it, of the gods in human form, animism goes beyond that. It leapfrogs all of that.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the point where the storm is not Thor with a a hammer riding a chariot
with goats.
If you've not seen the film, it is just the thunderer. It's the spirit of the storm itself. It's not anthropomorphized into a human shape. So the spirit of the sea in Brythonic mythology would be Llŷr or Manawydan. In the Norse or Old English would be Eir or Ran or Njord. But ultimately, to me, They are the names that humans have given that same animistic spirit of the ocean. Doesn't matter what I call it, to be honest with you, but sometimes it's nice to name it, you know, and to develop that relationship with it. Yeah. But the spirit of the sea is not Poseidon striding across as a human shape with a trident. Well, it's not, to me, it's not. We're talking about how we see things. To me, I don't see that. I don't see a human shape. I have always wondered why the pagan gods are the shape of one species of the earth, i.e. an ape, humanity, when there is a myriad of an almost countless amount of life forms of the earth. Why are the gods the shape of us? It's never made sense.
I think in a lot of cultures they are different things. Like Anansi comes as a spider sometimes.
Yeah, see that, or that kind of almost makes more sense to me.
You know.
But then that spider energy sums up the energy of that spirit, doesn't it? You know. So there you go. Anyway, so how does it manifest in your practice?
It's really hard to describe. I mean, for me, like I say, I keep coming back to this word relationship. So, you know, it's like being a gardener, understanding what the seed needs and what I can give in order to receive, you know, something from that seed is a fundamentally animistic practice for me, and I suppose it sums it up. I know from all of the wisdoms of my human world that a seed needs certain things, and I can provide those things, and in return that seed, if I nurture it, it will grow and offer me courgettes or zucchinis, or, you know, and the exchange is that as long as I make sure that seed can flourish thereon afterwards, there's an exchange of energy between, and when I sit in the landscape, I am sitting with the more than human world. There's many worlds overlapping. You know, there's the insect that bit my face yesterday and caused me all this trouble. I mean, it's just doing its thing. It's irritating, but it's got its whole life thing, and it's part of a great ecosystem, you know, and I am part of an ecosystem, and that's what I love about animism. I love the mindset. It's not only is it a practice, it's a philosophy, it's a way of being for me in the world. So everything I do, you know, I mean, is just dictated. And sometimes that's really hard when you're watching a programme about where your food comes from and various things, and seeing how other people deal with the world, and your animistic soul is screaming at the TV, could you just be a bit kinder? Could you just be a bit more, you know, open to the fact that human stuff is not the only necessity? It's a complicated relationship. Yeah. I've seen a couple of comments going up about what I said about why the gods are human shape, and rightly so. It's because, you know, people said it's how we understand it, and I think that's true. I think that's absolutely true. And I think when I go into the woods and I sense Hern or the horned one or the green man or whatever the god, the spirit of the forest, when I walk into that woods, I feel and I see that spirit with like this, you know, that's it, you know, that's what I feel around me. I'm walking Oscar, right? Oscar's a dog. He wouldn't see the spirit of the woodland like this, but I'm 100% sure that Oscar knows the spirit of the woodland. Definitely.
But ours is through sight, our kind of major thing, you know, that's why our eyes are at the front of our heads. We're, you know, it's the hunter thing within humanity, you know, sight. Oscar, his main scent, he scents and smells. That's his overriding scent. So I've often thought he probably smells the Green Man. And he relates to the Green Man from Dog World. You know, there's that lovely talk that Graham Harvey did on Druidcast a little while ago that I recorded from the Winter Gathering, I think it was last year.
So good.
Where he was talking about there are different worlds, and there really are. We walk and move amongst the human world, and we think sometimes that's the most important and only world there is. But actually in that sea there are salmon worlds, there are, you know, there is a swan world, there are gull worlds, you know, and Oscar lives in a dog world. He sees the world through a dog's perspective.
And we have such a limited set of senses that there are colours we don't see, there are sounds we don't hear, there are things that we can't even perceive. The world is so much bigger, you know, and it's you know, to limit our understanding just to the human world is well, limiting. There's no other word for it, is there? And when you start to, I think somebody said it earlier, I wrote it down, you know, when you start to understand that you're an interconnected part of that web, it's impossible to feel lonely ever again, because there are so many other ways to feel connected other than just human. I mean, obviously the human connection is important and necessary. You know, we're a gregarious species, but we're not alone, and that's a huge thing. You know, that's a huge thing.
And I think that if we go back far enough with our modern traditions like Druidry, if you were to head, like I say, leapfrog all of the Romano stuff, and go straight to those ancient Iron Age peoples, I think that they would have had far less anthropomorphic imagery of their deities, back far enough, you know, and go further still to the Bronze Age people. And I know also that if you do the same with the Norse, that if you go back to Iron Age Norse and Scandinavian and Germanic cultures and go back a little bit further, those names will slowly lose their human form and become part of the natural world around us. That's it. It would be a relationship with that spirit and that energy.
I mean, on Cyprus, where we went many years ago, which is where my father was from, there is, from the Neolithic, a stone. There's a stone on a plinth in a reconstructed medieval building that has been worshipped as part of the Aphrodite temple since the Neolithic times. And I can tell you right now that walking into the place where that stone resides, even though it stood on, you know, a wooden box open to the air, in, you know, glass cages in a reconstructed building, takes your breath away with the energy of it and the sense of relationship that it has had with generation after generation after generation. And I stood, and it's open, you can touch it, and I did, having never known my father and never really understanding my connection. I felt, as soon as I touched this beautiful stone, it was about this big and kind of almost nose-shaped, it was very odd. I drew a breath, a gasp as I walked in the place, was drawn straight to it, touched my hand on it, and felt generations and generations and generations standing behind me of relationship with what appears to be an inanimate piece of stone. There's nothing inanimate in my soul about that stone, and it was that, I think, for me, is the essence of perceiving the world through an animist's point of view, and it perceiving you on a soul level, I think. It's not just a one-way thing. I think it's a two-way thing.
I'm sure some of you have played with the sea, right? Where you've walked up to the edge of the waves and spoken to the spirit of the sea, and suddenly those waves are coming at you and flying over your feet and chasing you up the beach, you know. And it just sometimes feel that the spirit of the sea you can play with the spirit of the sea. But it's 25 past 8. We've been going for 25 minutes. And
oh God, I told you we could go on forever.
So I think I hope you've enjoyed that. We have. Could talk like this for ages. But you were going to do a little meditation, yeah?
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Come on. Get on with it.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think yeah. Okay. Let's kind of
have a deep breath.
I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about my stone on Cyprus, that Aphrodite temple. I need to go back.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's full moon. And wherever you are in the world, I'm sure the full moon is there for you at this time. So let us take a few minutes just to close our eyes together, wherever we may be on this beautiful dot in the middle of space, to tune in to our companion. Let's take a deep breath together. We feel ourselves within our environment. There are the modern trappings, our home, our gardens maybe, our neighbourhoods, and everywhere within that neighbourhood, in every nook and every cranny, flying through the air, walking, moving, seen and unseen, are many, many more lives. And wider still, into the countryside, more and more animals, all with different perceptions, all with different needs, all part of this worldwide web of life, all residing on this bright blue planet, guided, encouraged, and drawn to look upwards to our companion, the moon. We see the face of the moon, bright, radiant with reflected sunlight, full and bright, shining down, unifying us in that gentle, gentle light. Everyone perceiving, everyone understanding, everyone with their own story of their relationship with a bright, full moon. Bathed in that moonlight, veils are stripped away. We come together, a multiplicity of lives, all under that one gazing face that affords us such grace, such stillness, such light. And we all dream our dreams. We are guided, we are nurtured. Our tides ebb and flow. all under this one true companion of the earth. And as the moon's face changes and shifts, so our story, our relationship with ourselves and the earth around us and all life upon it, shifts and changes through cycles and moods, and we find ourselves united under the gaze of our moonlit companion. Never alone, always together. Many eyes, many minds, many thoughts, many stories, many ways to perceive a beautiful symbol of companionship and beauty. We feel each life valued equally under this beautiful moon. Draw in a long, slow breath, whether it's daytime or nighttime, whether the moon is covered by clouds or the sun eclipses it for the moment. That face is there, watching, being with us, uniting us in a single image. Powerful. And when you are ready, take another long, slow breath filled with the power of the moon in its fullest phase, bright and full, energizing and calming, all at the same time. And let that breath go and be here in this room, in this moment, united across the world with the great web of life.
And open your eyes if you haven't already. Woo. Look at that, we're only 3 minutes late. That was fabulous.
Okay, wow.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for sharing this time with us.
God, it feels it's gone so quick.
It does fly past, man.
So quick.
We are going to now, technology permitting, go onto the Druid Hearth Zoom now. So if you're on the Druid Hearth, or you know the Zoom, head over there. All being well, we'll see you there, and we can continue the discussion.
Yeah,
face to face.
And for everybody else, thank you so much for joining us. And if you have to go now, that's very sad.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll see some of you, on the hearth. Yes, thank you all over the world.
Yeah.
We are all connected. We are all part of the World Wide Web. Never, ever forget it.
Yeah. Blatant plug. See you the weekend at House Concert number 62.
Oh.
Blatant plug. Lovely.
Plug.
Thank you, my friends.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Blessed
Take
be.
care, whatever you're doing. Have a wonderful time.
Bye-bye.